Hi, friends. Welcome to At Home with Sunny, a space where I'm learning to live slowly and love home well. If you enjoy cozy, faith filled content, I'd love for you to subscribe and stay a while. Let's get into today. There's this house down the street a ways from where we live that I look at and admire every time that we pass it. It's a beautiful house, a good sized yard, high ceilings, big windows, a garage, and what looks to be a detached suite in the yard. I've never been inside, but the first time I saw it, I wanted that house or a house like it. I started imagining what I'd do with a house like that, how pretty the rooms would be, a spacious kitchen to cook in, washer and dryer steps away, a yard for my kids to play in. Well, you get the picture. Something happened when we got home after seeing that house. The minor things in my home suddenly weren't so minor because now I was comparing the house down the street to my apartment. It didn't help that my husband and I had already had a desire to move. Glimpsing that house had added fuel to the fire. I was now looking down on the house that God used to shelter me for years and thinking that it wasn't enough, not big enough, not pretty enough, etc. Playing the comparison game had quickly produced ingratitude in my heart, and I forgot that living here was a luxury, not a burden. Memories were made in this house, storms were weathered in this house, lives are lived in this house. God placed us in this apartment for a time. He provided shelter and comfort, and I was diminishing it. Today, let's talk about comparison and its slippery slide into covetousness. My apartment isn't bad. In fact, it has pretty good sized bedrooms and living space. It's an older building, dating back to the 1960s, and the owners have been maintaining the apartments as best as they can. Nothing fancy, but with the right touch, you can make it into a beautiful home. This was something that I hadn't seen the need to do when we first moved in, nor over the years after. In my mind, this was a pit stop, a place to live until I got in my dream house. A dream I was still figuring out, so I didn't put much effort into decorations or furniture, no personal touches, just the bare necessities that proved someone lived there. I would see the nice interior design photos on the web, or even when I would visit a friend's home, I'd admire how they designed and decorated their space, mentally taking notes for how I'd want to decorate my house. Notice I said house, not apartment, house. Let's go back to that house I saw on our street. It's a recent build within the last 2 years or so, I'd guess, and it's still being worked on to this day, which leads me to think that it's someone's house they have been planning and saving to build. And now here I was wanting that house and praying for a house like that, or even that very same house, because it's bigger, better, prettier than my apartment that I hadn't even taken the time to make into a home, a house I hadn't even seen the inside of. I don't know anything about that house. I only judged it from the outside, from the street as we passed by at that. The worst part is that I didn't even realize how I went from comparing to coveting. Coveting is a sin, and it's dangerous to go down that path because its destination is destruction. But God, He convicted me multiple times over the months this was building up in my heart, up until this very day that I am recording this voiceover. He had been guiding me into revelation that constant comparison was doing more harm than good. I was less joyful and more critical of my apartment, embarrassed to have friends over, unhappy in my own space, even looking at other apartment listings and wishing my place looked like that. It didn't help that housing was more expensive now and the apartments we liked were outside of our budget. So even if I wanted to move, we couldn't afford to, which was frustrating. December 2025, I started realizing what I was doing was playing the comparison game and had tried to stop and practice gratitude instead. I also realized that I needed to take some accountability for where I was. I wanted the things without doing the work. I wanted a comfortable, beautiful home, but I wasn't doing the work to create what I want. And then I had the audacity to want more when I wasn't even taking care of what I got. All of this I'm realizing slowly as I continue day by day to walk with God and read His Word and let His Word read me and show me me. Then, as if to put a nice big cherry on top of the humble pie, God leads me this morning to Exodus 20:17, which reads, "You shall not covet your neighbor's house." Quick and to the point, snatching all my edges. The rest reads, "You shall not covet your neighbor's wife, or his male servant, or his female servant, or his ox, or his donkey, or anything that is your neighbor's." I'm reading this from the ESV version. As I read this, it began to sink in that not only had I been comparing, but that comparison had given birth to coveting. And my God is too good to let me go down that path without warnings. And this right here, added to the topic my pastor spoke about on Sunday, that done stopped me in my tracks. So last Sunday, my pastor spoke around the topic Help I Hate It Here. It's where we looked at the story where the Israelites were carried off into exile and by the Babylonians for 70 years. And so we went over the verses and we read the story and we saw that God Himself carried them into exile for 70 years. But He also told them that while they are there in exile, don't just wallow and, mope around, but actually settle down, build houses, raise families, get married, plant crops, that kind of thing. And so it reminds me that I may not be in my dream house, but I am in a good apartment where God has graciously placed me. And so, where I am now, I can live and thrive and have the best life I want right now. I can decorate and take care of the house, make it personal, make it a home. That I don't need to covet anyone's house because where I am now is pretty good. And that when God is ready, He will move us into a house, into my dream house. But until then, thrive where I am, take accountability in the house where I am. If I want a nice house, make it a nice house. I realized that I was wanting the nice, big, pretty house, but I didn't want to put in the work that it takes to get a nice, pretty house. But that's just an example, not the point of this story. I wanted to share with you because if I'm going through it, I think it may help someone else who's going through it too. It's a reminder that where you are, you may not love it. It may not be the best. The job may not be the best. The apartment may not be the best. Wherever you are, whatever situation you're in, it may not be the best. But if God has you there for right now, make the best of it. Make the best of it. And when He is ready, He will move you. The same way He told the Israelites that after 70 years, He Himself would come and move them. The same applies for us. Where we are right now may not be our dream house or the dream job, but God has us there, so make the best of it. I hope this video blesses you. Thanks for joining me today. See you in the next one.